Police officer disrespects elderly woman, faces a big surprise in court. Have you ever thought about the power of respect, especially for those who've lived through life's hardest moments? This story centers around Margaret, a quiet but resilient elderly woman, who finds herself in a difficult situation with an officer who underestimates her. Little does he know, she's connected to someone who will soon turn his world upside down. One day, while going about her routine, Margaret has a brief encounter with Officer Turner. Known for his harsh manner, Turner is not one to treat people with compassion, especially not the elderly. He's more interested in asserting his authority than lending a hand. But when he treats Margaret dismissively and even threatens her with a fine she doesn't deserve, he unknowingly ignites a series of events that will soon unfold in the courtroom, leaving him completely blindsided. Margaret might appear fragile on the outside, but her story and connections run deep. When the case reaches court, Officer Turner learns that his actions come with unexpected consequences and an eye-opening lesson in humility. Stay tuned to see how this seemingly ordinary woman reminds him, and everyone in the courtroom, of the respect every person deserves. The story begins in a quaint neighborhood, one where everyone knows Margaret. She's known for her gentle smile and her morning walks around the block, exchanging greetings with neighbors and feeding the birds by the park. Margaret has lived in this area her entire life, watching generations come and go, always carrying herself with kindness and grace. Despite her age, Margaret is fiercely independent. She lives alone in the small house she's cared for over the years, cherishing her garden and her little routines. To those around her, Margaret is more than just an elderly woman. She's a reminder of strength, resilience, and the importance of community. Then there's Officer Turner, a young cop whose reputation precedes him. Known for being strict and often crossing the line into unnecessary intimidation, Turner has little patience for anyone he considers a waste of time. To him, Margaret is just another elderly woman, too slow, too old, and, in his eyes, irrelevant. As he walks his beat, Turner doesn't see people. He sees only rules to enforce. One morning, Margaret is on her way to the pharmacy, clutching her small handbag as she crosses the street. Suddenly, she hears Turner's voice, loud and commanding, shouting for her to move along. Confused, she tries to explain, but he's not interested. He issues her a citation for loitering without giving her a chance to speak. In a voice barely holding back her hurt, Margaret pleads her case, but Turner shuts her down, handing her the citation and leaving her feeling humiliated and defeated. After the incident, Margaret feels the weight of the injustice, but she refuses to simply accept it. Although she's reluctant to cause a scene, she knows she can't let this pass. She consults a lawyer, a close family friend, who listens to her story with a mix of concern and frustration. Seeing how deeply affected Margaret is by the officer's treatment, he decides to take her case seriously and promises her justice. In the days leading up to the court date, word of the incident spreads through the community. People are shocked. Many have known Margaret for years and can't believe she'd be treated so unfairly. They rally around her, encouraging her to speak up and supporting her decision to take the matter to court. Meanwhile, Officer Turner remains oblivious to the storm brewing around him. Confident that his authority protects him from any real consequences, he doesn't think twice about the ticket he issued to Margaret. To him, it was just another routine interaction, and he's sure the judge will dismiss it without question. As the court date arrives, Margaret sits quietly in the courtroom, feeling a mix of anxiety and determination. The sight of Officer Turner, calm and indifferent, reminds her of the humiliation she felt that day. To make matters worse, Turner's legal team appears ready to discredit her, painting the incident as an overreaction on her part. Turner takes the stand first, confidently recounting the encounter as justified, portraying himself as simply doing his duty. When asked about Margaret's age or her state of confusion, he shrugs it off, stating that age doesn't exempt anyone from the law. His tone is cold, almost mocking, and the courtroom feels the growing tension. Finally, it's Margaret's turn to testify. She explains her side of the story, her voice trembling slightly but her resolve unshaken. She shares the hurt she felt, the way Turner spoke down to her without even considering her explanation. Her account paints a vivid picture of the injustice she faced. As the judge listens, he begins to see the officer's arrogance and disregard for basic respect, but Turner still seems confident, as if no one can touch him. Little does he know, the judge holds a secret connection to Margaret, and what's about to happen next will change everything. Just as the proceedings seem to be winding down, the judge makes a request that catches everyone off guard. He asks Officer Turner if he recognizes Margaret beyond this one encounter. Confused, Turner admits he doesn't. The judge then reveals a shocking piece of information. Margaret is a close friend of the judge's family. They've known each other for years, and the judge is well aware of her kind heart and the respect she's shown others in their community. The judge's words change the atmosphere in the courtroom instantly. Turner's smug expression fades, replaced by one of shock. It becomes clear that his actions toward Margaret were not only unjust, but deeply offensive to someone the judge holds dear. The judge looks at Turner with disappointment, making it clear that he's expected better from someone entrusted to serve and protect. With this newfound context, the judge announces his decision. He rules in Margaret's favor, dismissing the citation and ordering Turner to attend sensitivity training. He emphasizes that every citizen deserves respect, regardless of age, status, or circumstance. The judge's ruling sends a powerful message to the entire courtroom. Turner, visibly shaken, realizes that his actions have not only damaged his reputation, but also earned him the scrutiny of the community. He's ordered to publicly apologize to Margaret, acknowledging the disrespect he showed her. As he stands before her, his voice falters, the confidence he once carried completely gone. Margaret, gracious as ever, accepts his apology. Her dignity intact, she shows the courtroom that respect and integrity can overcome arrogance and authority. The judge's ruling also makes it clear that such behavior won't be tolerated, an example for others who may think their position exempts them from basic decency. This story serves as a reminder that respect is not optional, especially for those who may seem vulnerable or overlooked. In Margaret's case, her quiet strength and the support of her community helped her stand up to an injustice, ultimately leading to an outcome that not only brought her justice but also changed the officer's life. The officer's actions had a lasting impact, but so did the lesson he learned that day in court. Respect, compassion, and humility are values that apply to everyone, no matter their role or title. Margaret's strength taught us that even the smallest voice can demand change, and that sometimes standing up for yourself can make a difference for others as well. In the end, this story reinforces the importance of treating everyone with dignity and reminds us that our actions carry consequences.